Welcome to the first and final word with Nelson Jordan. I'm Chris Nelson. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on all of our social media pages, and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts so you can get caught up on all the great content we have out there. So, Nelson, Los Angeles Lakers star Lebron James is going to miss the start of the 2025-2026 NBA season. His record-setting 23rd NBA season, meaning no player prior to this has ever played 23 seasons in the NBA, assuming we do see him, which we all, of course, hope we will. He has sciatica of his right side. He did start the offseason recovering from a sprained MCL he suffered in their Western Conference first-round playoff series loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the final game of that series in Game 5. So recovering from that, and now this comes up. It is worth noting that at the end of the year, the calendar year that is, he will be turning 41 years old. If anyone has proven age is just a number, especially in this sport, it is LeBron James. But that is worth noting. He will miss the Lakers' opening night game against the Golden State Warriors and potentially more games beyond that. He has not practiced or played in the preseason, practiced in training camp or played in the preseason, and will not do so on either front. So, what is your outlook for LeBron James going into the season now and attempting to come back from this at some point, and the games he may miss, and how do you feel that impacts Los Angeles Lakers both in that game against the Warriors as well as any other games he may miss this season?
Well, it looks like for the LA Lakers, this is something that you had to expect, not maybe this specific injury for sciatica that he has, but just the injuries and the management that he's going to have to do for his age and for all the physical and brutality that he has taken to his body. Now, granted, from my own research, just from looking at sciatica, it appears that sciatica can be managed and ultimately should not be something that Lakers fans should be really, really scared, it seems like. The only question with LeBron is because of his age, like we said, he's just going to really have to be more meticulous than ever when it comes to staying in form, staying in good, whether that's good condition, physical condition, and constantly making sure that his sciatica, he's able to manage it with his muscles. Because apparently, from my understanding, the research with sciatica, and I'm not a doctor, it's just it goes with the nerves and the muscles and how they work. And somehow you can get some numbness, and you might not be able to feel it, or you can get some sharp pain. That's what sciatica appears to be. Now, with LeBron, we all know that basketball players of any kind, they have to use, especially a lot of their legs, to be able to get that lift on their shot, be able to, stand their ground when it comes to playing defense and everything. So it'll be critical for LeBron. Now, when it comes to the Lakers in general, aside from LeBron, for the next 4 to 6 weeks, yes, as what Chris has stated, it looks like he's just going to be inactive. He won't even be on the roster. I would assume not. At that point, maybe like a short-term IR or something like that. And you got behind him at this point. I mean, you got a well-rounded group of players: Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Hachimura, Ayton. Well, Vanderbilt's going to have to, I guess, pick up the slack. But there's nobody that's LeBron James. LeBron James, when he's fully healthy, he is a top five player in this game. We all know that. And when you don't have essentially two top 10 players or top five players of Luka and LeBron, you know, especially at the start of the season, that is going to hurt in the Western Conference. We know in the Western Conference how brutal it is. We are going to talk about that probably later down the road, a couple of weeks from now. But when you got the likes of the Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors who are pursuing something, all these other teams who are really going to be meddling, the Denver Nuggets. I mean, this is the toughest conference between the two. And you cannot slip up and get too far behind. And with not having LeBron for 4 to 6 weeks, hopefully that does not make a case where there's too big of a hole for the Lakers to get out of and at least get to a fifth or higher seed. So you don't have to even think about being in a play-in tournament. So that's my take. I hope for LeBron he recovers quickly. I hope for the Lakers that they get him back healthy. And at that point, like I said, LeBron is as healthy and as very profound of his body, how he invests so much with himself. I don't see this to be a problem. It's just, again, with age, this is what happens. And it has to be expected. It's just going to be more delicate than ever. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you said the key point. We obviously are very hopeful that LeBron James does fully recover from this, comes back fully healthy, and we get to see him be the player that he has been. I mean, look, we're talking about for his entire career almost at this point, a perennial All-Star, perennial All-NBA player. He was second-team All-NBA last season. He's a top 10 player in the NBA still at this point in time, even if he's past his peak prime. And then you add him with Luka Doncic, who's a top 5 player in the NBA, arguably, certainly a top 10 player in the NBA. We finally get a full season out of him. All the reports and from what we've seen of the great shape he's in now for the first time in his career and what he can potentially do. They add DeAndre Ayton as their starting center. And they add Marcus Smart to provide deep depth and defense in that backcourt. You mentioned it. To go along with Austin Reeves, they're hoping they can take the next step. They have Dalton Connect off the bench. Hopefully he can make improvements in year 2 and maybe be a key role player. Roy Hachimura in that front court. Jared Vanderbilt off the bench to provide depth in the front court. So we wanted to see all these pieces together and see what that looks like with Luka and LeBron in the supporting cast. And now we don't know how many games, if any, we'll get to see that. We hope to see it for a good amount. And it's worth noting, LeBron James missed a dozen games last year, and he played 70 games. He played over 70 games the year before that. So he has missed games, which of course most, if not almost all, NBA players do at this point in time nowadays and have for many years. But we've seen him still be able to play at that extremely high level when he's been on the floor. So it's going to come down to how many games he misses and how well he plays when he is on the floor, which again, we hope is the case. But this is massive, and going against the Golden State Warriors, I mean, first of all, just as fans, we wanted to see Luka Doncic and Stephen Curry battle. We wanted to see LeBron James and Rui Hachimura going up against Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. And now we won't, and that's a tough matchup for them against Jimmy Butler. And it allows Draymond Green, we don't know if he would have defended LeBron James at all, but now he will be able to defend other guys, Rui Hachimura, as well as we know we see him defend the center position a lot, so we'll see him on DeAndre Ayton and Jared Vanderbilt when he's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates a problem for the Lakers in that game, and then obviously going forward, we'll see. I mean, I get it. In the NBA, they play 82 games, so we'll see how this plays out. But you mentioned it. We saw last year, we've seen in recent years how crucial every game becomes, how close and jam-packed these standings are. And the Lakers were the 3 seed last year and still went out in the first round. So they've put this roster together. They are the Lakers. There are expectations there. If LeBron James misses a good number of games and they struggle mightily without him and lose a good number of games in which he does not play, and they aren't a high seed, I don't think we're talking about them getting to the Western Conference Finals. I don't know that we're having that conversation anyway. I don't even know that we're talking about them winning a playoff series, but I think in Los Angeles that's the conversation, and this could put that in jeopardy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule, Chris, and just to kind of give you an idea. So if we're looking from 4 to 6 weeks out, so October 21st is the kickoff for them. They're facing Golden State at home.
Yeah, opening
Six
night in
weeks
Indiana.
from, Yep. So 6 weeks from them would be what, third week of November. You're looking at this is brutal. Golden State, Minnesota twice. We know what San Antonio possibly could be with their young talent. Oklahoma City, Milwaukee with Giannis, LA at some point, Dallas too. I mean, that is Miami out of the East. I mean, that's insane. That's a way to start your season. And not having LeBron, as you stated, oof, if they fall in a big, big hole, they might be in trouble. They might be in trouble.
Yes, less than a dozen days away, and we will be back to touch on those games and covering all of the big games throughout the course of the season. So as we go and we see which games LeBron James misses, we will provide our takes from potentially some of those games, and we'll see what we get out of that and what games he misses. So we'll be back to touch on all of this, guys. NBA is right around the corner. Preseason's in full swing, so enjoy some of those games for you diehard NBA fans and those who are fans of specific teams and want to get a chance to watch them play in the preseason before things get going. We're keeping an eye on all of it, watching highlights and everything else. So we will be back with you to talk about that. Enjoy the WNBA Finals in the meantime, as well as playoff baseball, of course football, as well as NHL, which is underway. But for this one, for Nelson Jordan, I'm Chris Nelson. This has been the First and Final Word.